I'm really just kind of at a loss now for what to do.
A television, a laptop, 2 phones in her basement apartment. That's been Kimberly Robinson's life since Sunday night, which is the last time she heard from or spoke to her parents, who live in Kenner, just outside New Orleans.
I left home and I left my family and everything else there, so there's no way for me to reach out to find out what's going on.
Except on the news, where Monday afternoon she caught this video.
And if you pause it right there, like that's my house.
Completely flooded with everything inside likely gone forever.
Little small stuff, you know, that my mom had been saving.
She says she'd heard from an uncle that her parents did get out, but that's not enough.
If I could directly talk to my parents, get a brief, Kim, we're fine, don't worry, phone call, I'll be okay. I hope they're okay. I know they'll be okay. I just need to hear their voice.
And then just as we were finishing up our interview, Kimberly's phone rang.
Mom! Mom! Oh my God, Mom!
Mama, I have been living and breathing for this phone call. Like, I refuse. I've not left my house.
Everybody's fine, Kim.
Mama, you just don't even hang up the phone.
I ain't hanging up.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just don't even want you to get off the phone.
I ain't getting no list. I'm gonna let you talk all you want to talk.
Yeah, everything floating all around there. In the dome, people try to stick together. You know, money didn't mean nothing, so you might have a big credit card, might be a big shot, you're still gonna be level as homeless.
We needed our friend up here, and we needed the blues with us too, because he's a beautiful artist, and we needed to get him here.
Well, that was scary. That's why you were so glad to see somebody you know. From the experience that I had a couple of weeks ago, it's gonna be very hard. It'll be hard blues, reggae, hardcore.
Somehow, somewhere, in the middle of this mess, someone is broadcasting to the world.
We have one station in New Orleans. He's operating on battery power with a makeshift antenna.
Tonight, Indiana handles the call.
This is important stuff.
For an hour, Peggy McNary takes the post of controller of Saturn, Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network.
November 9, Quebec Tango checking in.
She describes the job as traffic cop, juggling the broadcasts of ham radio operators across the world. Ham is, frankly, old compared to cell phones or computers. Then again, those are largely useless in the disaster area right now.
Those are fragile technologies. This is not. This is as basic as radio waves.
McNary calls Katrina one of the worst.
It's horrible. It's terrible. It's devastating.
The radio work is helping.
But a family called out on a cell phone. It was trapped in an attic and got word to an amateur radio operator somehow just before they lost contact. Saturn was able to contact the Coast Guard, and that family was rescued.
The network claims a hand in dozens of Katrina rescues already and will operate until there is no need for more.
Because when the power goes down and the phone lines go down, we can still get out in radio.
Another number of area code
One by one, cases of non-perishable items were loaded onto this Air Trans 737. Scenes like this one are commonplace as U.S. residents respond to the needs of those hit by Hurricane Katrina.
But in this case, it's Peyton Manning and his brother Eli. They were struck by scenes like this one all across Louisiana, and they wanted to pitch in and help.
The whole town of New Orleans is really like family. They've been so good to my dad since he played there, and embraced Eli and I growing up, especially now that we're playing football.
It's just watching TV and you see these areas that you recognize. You recognize it's on the way driving to school, or just and you see it underwater, and you see people walking through the streets in water, and it's just, there's not really a word to describe it.
Calls were made and corporations such as Marsh Supermarkets jumped in to help.
He wanted to provide formula, diapers, some assistance for the children, water. We stepped up and added some juice drinks and some snack food, non-perishable items. St. Vincent's Health came on board with some medical supplies and toiletries. So it's really a community effort that rallied behind Peyton.
With the plane loaded with 31,000 pounds of supplies, it was time for prayer.
We ask you to bless all those who are according this relief effort to protect those who are traveling to New Orleans to bring them aid.
Sister Mary believes that prayers and monetary donations are the best ways to help those hit hard by Hurricane Katrina.
But the main thing is money, because by the money we can use to buy things that they really need and not just send things over that they're not going to be able to put into use.
With the plane loaded, there were last-minute pictures. Then it was off to Baton Rouge, where the items will be delivered to the American Red Cross. The New Orleans natives were on their way with a helping hand.
We're just, trying to do what we can to help out the people down there.
They'll be mopping up this mess for weeks to come.
We had to take everything out of here, and now as you can see, we're cleaning it up. You smell the bleach.
Brian Bedford drove all the way from Indianapolis to his cousin's house in Biloxi, Mississippi. His family has never seen anything like this.
In a tornado, just like we had in Martinsville and Mooresville, the people were able to get back pretty quick, probably within a year to 8 months, and this won't happen here.
She calls me on the phone and tells me that my brother says he's trying to keep my auntie now from drowning. He's putting them on furniture up on the kitchen counter.
They still have to move the furniture out of this room so they can bleach the floors in here. This gives you an idea of just how much water came into the house. This is the water line on the front door.
Most of my clothes I had to get rid of because the mold, after you let them sit a while, the mold, I had to get rid of that. But I'm glad to be here with my family.
Cleanup will be strenuous and long, but perhaps it won't seem nearly as long as the days they spent not knowing who was still alive.
I just saw her today, and just bring a tear to your eye to make sure everybody's all right.
While emptying out the house and starting over will be a task like no other. Above all, they're here to rebuild together.
That's right, family pulling together. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Today's the first day that I think we're really beginning to see reality set.
The surge sucked debris into this car. Neighbors' homes are now piles of broken wood.
These stairs used to lead to a huge historic home. Now all that's left is a pile of bricks.
We're a shorter neighborhood today than we were 5 days ago.
Yeah.
It's real hard to keep track of time, too.
Gary and Lisa Michelle sit on their porch tired and disoriented without any power, but most likely the worst of it.
They pulled one out 2 days ago.
Some of their friends' bodies still lay out in the open.
It's not a nuisance to sit here and watch him.
They're standing guard of one laying next door. Crews mark the area. They have an idea of who it is.
If that is our friend, he is in a much safer, happier, wonderful place at this moment, and he's not there. Spiritually, he's watching down.
The devastation that's here, catastrophic, doesn't even cover it.
It's Mark Rogers' job to retrieve the bodies. A forensic scientist with the Mississippi Crime Lab, his own house is flooded out.
I haven't really talked to my family in a while, and whenever I get a chance, I'm sure I'll take that opportunity. But right now, my mind is getting this job done.
He bought the clothes on his back recently, and that's pretty much all he has.
Just really get on your knees and being thankful for what you have. I was in Afghanistan, and this kind of makes that look like a palace resort.
Lisa clutched onto a post as he carried the body away. Now she knows who it is. Another one of her neighbors, another friend lost.
But we'll rebuild, and we're all strong, resilient people.
All that's left of an historic home. We're walking you through the destruction in Biloxi, Mississippi. You won't believe what some people are having to deal with right out in the open.
Alice Huffman isn't cleaning up after herself. She's cleaning up after hundreds of strangers she served food to today. She and a few other Hoosiers traveled all the way from Indiana to help the Red Cross in Biloxi, Mississippi.
If we were in the same situation, we would need a lot of help. And many of these people have had water up to their rooftops.
Just to give you an idea of how much work they're doing here in the kitchen, these are boxes of MREs. They have more than 1,000 people to feed every day.
After a long day of hard work they've volunteered to do, they sat down with us to tell us why what they've seen here is nothing like any devastating storm they've ever seen in Indiana.
When we was down there a while ago, I mean, I couldn't believe I looked at that one house, and it was kind of a shell of a house here, and it was just blowed through.
Well, I think the devastation is so much more widespread here than we see tornadoes in Indiana.
Hundreds of miles from home, they'll be mopping floors and sweeping up after serving food to people they've never met before. They're determined to help in any way they can after seeing lives torn apart from Hurricane Katrina.
It's an opportunity to serve God and to serve people.
Before dawn Friday morning, guardsmen and women gathered at the armory on the west side of Indianapolis. An advanced team of 20 soldiers loaded onto a bus and headed for Mississippi. Staff Sergeant Brad Seifers returned from Bosnia about 7 months ago.
It'll be, I think, more honorable because we're helping American citizens. While we'll go help anyone around the world, I think we're definitely up to the challenge and we're proud to help our own citizens.
Seifers says in some ways Bosnia's peacekeeping mission was easier than what's ahead.
We're going to an area that doesn't have running water or electricity. We are trained and have the resources to operate in that environment while our civilian population doesn't. So Indiana's proud to go and assist them and see what we can do to get that community back on its feet.
More National Guardsmen and women are headed to Mississippi's Camp Shelby over the weekend. Captain Bruce Malone did not expect to leave his family so soon after coming back from Iraq.
It's difficult. My wife's been very supportive. We have 3 small children, so it's been great that she's been able to take care of everything while I've been gone.
Indiana headquarters will lead 11 other states in the recovery and rescue mission.
The number one problem that we see right off the bat is going to be communication. Since there are basically nothing down there, we have to go down and establish our own and then try and reach out to the world so we can communicate back what we need.
The Indiana National Guard expects to help bring life back to a hurricane-ravaged region. Hoosiers will stay anywhere from a month to 2 months. Bonnie Drucker, 24-Hour News 8.
Balloon basket going down again to pick up the rest of the victims.
Scared and stranded, they've been clinging to rooftops. Then salvation descends from the sky.
Very heroic effort by this crew.
Coast Guard rescuers have helped more than 1,250 Katrina victims, plucking many from atop ruined buildings. Chopper 8 pilot Keith McCutcheon knows the difficulty the Coast Guard faces. He flew hurricane rescues in the 80s in Louisiana.
And it's really a tough situation for a pilot to be in. He certainly has to know what his limits are, what his aircraft limits are, and when to stop.
It takes specialized training. Coast Guard choppers are powerful, fully capable of handling the weight of the rescuer and victim, but this kind of rescue requires a skillful pilot.
If you have extra people out here hanging on the side, it actually puts it in a list, let's say. It puts it at a little bit of an angle. So he has to be ready to handle that, to fly that, the pilot does, to make that adjustment in the flight controls.
Okay, here, we've got a rescue in progress.
That's another challenge these pilots face. The power of the chopper can potentially do more harm than good.
When they go in to do these rescues, the wind that's coming off that can be anywhere 70, 80 miles an hour wind. So as that comes down and hits the water, that's going to start pushing that water around. And these people, if they're not in a stable environment where they're at, you can actually put them in harm's way.
That's why training is so important for not only the pilot, but also the crew, specifically the crew member giving the pilot instruction.
He's on a headset, the guy in the back is talking to the pilot. Once the pilot says, you know, I'm over it, do I need to move left, right? He'll kind of direct the pilot. Okay, slide a little bit right, slide a little bit left, hold it right here. And then he's dropping the basket down, and it's on a winch that comes out of the aircraft. Actually, will come out of the aircraft like in the back part right back here. It'll actually come out and sit out over the wheels, and they generally have wheels, and so it comes out about right here, and they drop the basket down.
Taking the victim to safety while keeping safe the pilot and crew, no easy task.
Gas for $2.99? There's no doubt Katrina put a crimp in the pump. News 8 first told you about Indiana gas stations running out of gas. At Crystal Flash, it's now a matter of divvying up what supply is coming in. They shut the pumps off at this station at 4:30 yesterday, and they didn't open back up until 11 o'clock this morning. Crystal Flash is sending fuel out to all of its gas stations, but not nearly as much as it usually does. We're talking about the same company that supplies gas to Indianapolis city workers, including police, fire, and emergency crews. Should we be worried about emergency crews?
I don't think so. We are keeping them supplied.
While retailers have been forced on gas allocation in some way, so have you.
It's just hard for a poor person to make it with these prices. And everybody needs gas. Everybody needs to get back and forth to work.
I wouldn't be surprised to see more increases.
Despite the finicky supply system and looming price increases, gas companies urge you not to panic, to buy gas as you usually would.
I would say that if somebody came into our stores and they were on empty and they couldn't get down the street, that we would try and find a way to work with them. We don't want to put anybody in a situation where they can't get to where they need to go.